Siddur Snippet series is generously sponsored by the Saka family and by Yalan Avram Foreman for Refuah Shlema Hadassah Rachel Baz Chana Golder on the 18th bracha of the Amida. The bracha of Modim, the opportunity every day, 3 times a day, to express our gratitude, to never take anything for granted, to press pause and reflect on what we have in our lives. We mentioned the Dasa Kenim about Tosas Pashas Ekev points out that the gematria of the word Modim is 100. Because just like Mea Brachos B'chol Yom, 100 times we have micro moments, 100 times we have bid for connections with Hashem, 100 times throughout our day we interrupt and we pause to say thank you. So too Modim is another form of saying thank you. The Shvilei Pinchas, Rav Pinchas Friedman points out that means not that we could ever make up for a lost opportunity, and we have a halachic obligation, Mea Brachos, 100 brachos every day, but it means it's hard. Throughout the day, you make a birchas hanenin, you made a bracha on the cup of coffee, you had lunch, one came out of the bathroom. We say brachos as part of our habit, and it's hard sometimes to focus and pay attention, but we can make up for it. The 3 modims, 3 times during the day, we stop to think Modim anachnu lach. Hashem, I'm so grateful to you. I take nothing in my life for granted, then we can make up. And that the bowing at Modim is our response to Ritzei, the Hashras Hashchina that we describe of the Beis HaMikdash, the moment we invoke the image of an intense divine providence, divine presence, we can't help but surrender, submit, we can't help but bow in deference to Hashem. So we last left off, we were going through the words Sur Chayenu and Magen Yeshenu. We describe Hashem both as a rock, a Magen. A rock is reliable, dependable, predictable. A rock is fixed, a rock is permanent. A rock sticks out of the water. If a person feels they're drowning, there's so much going on. It's so easy in today's world with everything that we have upon us to feel like we're drowning. You grab onto the rock, the Tzur of Chayenu. Not the Tzurim that are the Avos Animos, but the Tzur of Chayenu, the rock inside us that we know we have in us is Hashem. And the Magen Yeshenu. Magen is a shield. So we mentioned Hashem shields us in a way we never know. Ein balanes makir beniso. We don't even necessarily know the miracles Hashem is doing for us. He's the Magen. He saves and prevents and protects even before it happens. And Yishenu. And if there is a threat and there is a danger, Yishenu, then He is the salvation. Then He brings us, He gets us out of it. Which brings us to the words, Atahu Lador Vador. That is you, that's what you do, Lador Vador, from generation to generation. So I mentioned, it's a Machlokas Rishonim, a debate among the early commentaries on where do you put the comma? Where do you put the comma? Is it Tzur Chayenu Magen Yeshenu Atahu Lador Vador, comma, and next phrase, No Dalachon Nisapir Tilasecha, will tell the story of your praise with gratitude, or is it that you are Magen Yeshenu Atahu, comma, and Lador Vador, every generation will be grateful and tell the story of your praise. So the Yavud Raham says that you put the comma after Lador Vador. In other words, Sur Chayenu, Magen Yeshenu, Lador Vador. I mentioned last night, many of us are only right now trying to figure out how we say it, where we put the comma. Again, I don't know if you noticed since last night at Marav and Shacharis and Mincha, the Yavud Raham says put the comma after Lador Vador. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Tzur Chayenu. He's our rock, our foundation. He's our shield, Lador Vador, in every generation. Rav Avram ben Agra, the Gra's son, explains that first we began Modim anachnu lach. We're so grateful to you, Hashem Elokeinu v'Elokei Avosenu li'olam va'ed. Our gratitude to you is not bound by time. There is no beginning, middle, or end. It's li'olam va'ed. It is forever and ever and ever. Li'ol me'ad, forever, even for the future. Hashem, we're grateful to you. And then we refer to Lashon Hov in the present tense, Tzur Chayenu Magen Yeshenu, Lador Vador. In this generation, at this time, interpersonally, intergenerationally, we have this gratitude to you. The Ribar Yakar has a different understanding. He says, read it, that Tzur Chayenu Magen Yeshenu, Atahu. Hashem, you're our rock. Hashem, you're our shield. Comma. Stop. Pause. Now, Lador Vador, no delacha. Lador Vador. And his raya, his proof, his evidence is each of the other times that we invoke that phrase, the other times we use the words Lador Vador, it doesn't follow, but it introduces. It doesn't come after, but it precedes. For example, in the Chazar Sashatz we say, at least to Ashkenazim, Lador Vador, Nagid Gadlacha. Lador Vador, Hallelujah. In every generation we have to praise you. So therefore, others see it not as Lador Vador is the end of a sentence, but Lador Vador is the beginning of the sentence. Lador Vador, no delacha, in every generation we are grateful to you. The Rinas Chaim, of Chaim Friedlander, has a very beautiful thought. Why would we need to invoke that image, that phrase, Lador Vador? From generation to generation, we are grateful and we praise you. So Rav Chaim Friedlander, the Rinas Chaim, says, what we're saying to Hashem is, every generation has its own gratitude it needs to be grateful for. Every generation has threats or dangers or miracles that we should be appreciative for. So Lador Vador Nodelecha. In every generation, there is no generation that can say, not us, we're exempt, we're exception. In every generation, some generations have lived through and overcome extraordinary things. It's hard to sometimes find the gratitude, but even those generations, Lador Vador, it's a beautiful thought that part of the obligation of a generation is to say, what's my gratitude? What is our generation's gratitude? What is specific and unique to us? What do we face? What do we confront? What do we overcome? What should we not take for granted? What are the miracles in our times that are our story? Lador Vador, different than the last generation, different than the next generation. Lador Vador Nodelecha. In every generation, Hashem will be grateful to you, and we figure out, Lador Vador, what is our generation's uniqueness, our gifts, that thing that we should be grateful for.